I just watched a interview on the Jordan Peterson podcast, and it was between Jordan Peterson, of course, the host, and a man named Rob Henderson. And it's a very interesting discussion relating to a lot of things, but what I'm going to hone in on is what was said about dating apps and about tech company manipulation of dating apps, because I think this particular thing, it really needs to be highlighted in order for men to as if they weren't aware already, and I guess many are not. Many are still blissfully unaware or in denial about how men are commonly treated on dating apps. How, to say that they get the short end of the stick is a considerable understatement. But what gets mentioned in this exchange? This guy Rob Henderson, who is a writer and who's now attending Cambridge, en route to getting his PhD, and has seemingly has had contact with some certain big important people, and at one point during this exchange with Jordan Peterson, he mentions that he once talked to an executive of a tech company, and he said he wouldn't reveal who it was. He wasn't going to reveal his source, even though Jordan Peterson kind of needled him on that, said please do, but he still wouldn't. And what he said was that it's a common practice for tech companies who own dating apps to, once a man gets on, and has his profile there, they seed him with a prospect. They have this. They have him match with somebody who is an attractive woman who seems to be in his general region, but who isn't actually real. She's not real, but you swipe right on her, and then you see it's a match. As anyone who's ever used dating apps before, you know how it works. And so you see you're matched with this pretty woman, and then she contacts you and says, "Hi, how's it going?" or something, kind of banal, and you have this exchange, and then nothing comes of it, of course, because she's not real; she's a bot. But the idea is, this is again what this executive of this tech company told this guy, who's now telling Jordan Peterson in this podcast, and I will link to that podcast, and I will give a timestamp of when they talk about this, just because I think this is an important enough thing to really highlight here. So the idea is that they give him this hit, this hit of affirmation, this hit of validation, right? This notion that, oh well, I must have it going on, and so at least for some people, for some ladies out there, I must have it going on because this girl's hot and she likes me, she liked my profile, we matched, but nothing comes of it. But the idea is that's how they keep you going, and according to Rob Henderson in this interview, what he says is that the tech executive even used the expression chasing the dragon, which is I wasn't aware of this term before, but apparently it's a reference to heroin. Once you get a hit You want to, you like the feeling that it gives you, and you want more of it, and so you keep chasing it and chasing it and chasing it. So this is what keeps men on these sites. And of course, it's mostly men who use these sites, and it's mostly and I don't have to go into any detail about how if you're a man and you get on one of these sites, you're unless you're incredibly attractive or incredibly rich, or you have some other attribute that makes you appealing to women, you're generally ignored. It's a mug's game. I heard it put once. I kind of like that expression. It's a mug's game. You're just you're a sucker to be there at all, and they're just stringing you along. So I really wanted to highlight this because this in this interview, Peterson is so incensed by what he hears, this whole strategy of giving them this hit, giving men this hit of affirmation to keep them going, to keep them chasing the dragon. He calls it evil, and I think it is evil. And I think we have to be aware of how we have to be aware of how we're being played. We have to be aware that our desire for affirmation, and not just for affirmation, but for companionship. For the things that it's normal for a person to want in life. But unfortunately, we live in an evil time where our natural impulses are used against us. And we are made to feel wanted when we are not wanted. Well, we're wanted, but we're wanted to just, keep putting our time and energy into this system that is designed to exploit us. And I think this goes beyond dating apps. I think this is something that can be said about the lived experiences of a lot of men in the Western world today. But it is exemplified in this revelation about dating apps and these evil strategies they use to try to get people addicted. And apparently the addiction is real, right? It's not it's not any less of an addiction just because it's not an actual drug. I mean, it is a drug. It's dopamine, and we weren't made to be able to absorb the kind of dopamine that we are being fed on a daily basis, or that is being held out in front of us, in front of our faces on a daily basis. It's not in our natural state, as it were, let's just say. That's not how we would be living. We would be much more temperate in our day-to-day activities. We wouldn't always be looking for the next hit. But this thing, this system, this evil system that tries to rope us in and tries to make addicts of us, and it's all about seeking validation, and it's all about seeking the knowledge or the idea that we are loved, liked, admired, swooned over, desired, all these things. And we have to just somehow, see through all of that. We have to make our way. And that's why, what I speak of when I speak of the needfulness of stoicism. And it's not like it's something I'm physician heal thyself, right? It's not like I'm somebody who's become some kind of master in I have not sat under the Bodhi tree and become enlightened, and now have come down to lead other men to the enlightenment that I found. No, I am not not that way at all. I'm just another pathetic soul wandering about, looking for things, desiring things out of life that life may or may not give me. And self-discipline is essential in this this circumstance. I might as well use this occasion to talk about, and this is going to come across as crass self-promotion, but it in a way it is self-promotion. Hopefully it's not too crass. But I'm working on a collection of short stories which are going to go under the title of Honey Traps. And all of these stories will center around the theme of a woman being appearing in a man's life and seeming to offer him love and companionship and the kind of the kind of things that he's looking for, but who is ultimately in some way being deployed against him in order to exploit him, which is what a honey trap is. It's not that I'm an expert in spy terminology, but I believe that is what a honey trap is designed to do. And more these days we're surrounded by honey traps. And one is tempted to just think all there is honey traps. When you get on the internet and you think you're talking to a woman, you're probably talking to some 58-year-old Indian guy pretending to sweet talk you. Yeah. So, of course, you can take that a little too far and get paranoid about it. It's easy to get paranoid, though, because again, we are living in the kind of age that fosters this sort of extreme reaction or extreme response, because so much of what is offered out to us as if it were something that would be naturally, because it does appeal to our natural desires, but it's actually not, because of it's actually not within the purview of what is likely to be possible for us, because of the fucked up way that the culture is now being run, intentionally, by the way. This did not happen accidentally. I want to emphasize that. I want to really put an underline there. This did not happen by accident. This happened because it was planned to happen. And if that makes you angry, it should. But we have to be directed in our anger, and we have to direct our anger towards the proper sources, and not just go on some random spree. Obviously I'm not advocating that. That's worse. That's not just counterproductive. It's worse. It's evil, but it's also beyond being evil. It doesn't help. I don't understand it. I understand the frustration or the motivation for somebody just getting totally fed up and going postal, but you're not, you're shooting down a bunch of people who are just in the same, the same shitty circumstance that you find yourself in. You're not really going after anyone of note. You're not going after the people who did this to all of us. And of course, I don't advocate for violence in any respect. I should say that as well. Thanks for watching. My name's Andy Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.